Y'all, welcome back to another episode of Dauntless Outdoors. Today's episode, we're commercial diving for some AJs, but I just shot a nice Cubera. Make sure to tune in to see some nice fish, so catch you in the water. Beans. Alright, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back underwater. Kind of just hopped in the water here, and the viz was insane this day. So hop in, look around, and you can just tell it's going to be an awesome day. There's a decent amount of sharks swimming around, so we're all buddy diving, trying to make sure that whoever shoots first is actually going to land whatever they shoot. And as you can tell, ton of mangrove snapper, so I decided what better way to start the day out than to shoot a pretty nice one. So line up on them, take a shot that I like, and luckily I stoned this fish so those sharks didn't go as crazy as we thought they were going to go. But as you can tell, there's still Goliath grouper and sharks swimming around trying to get to the fish. So luckily enough, landed the fish and kept diving, and it was a pretty nice way to start the day. So after I landed that guy there, I kind of figured the rest of the mangrove snapper were going to go down in the water column and kind of just hide away. But as I turn out here, because that shark was approaching me, I see that there's a ton more of them. And they ended up being really friendly this day. So decided I was going to take advantage of that while they were still kind of swimming up to me. As you can tell, they're not as friendly in the beginning, but still, they are giving me some pretty easy shots. So take that one, he freaks out, and the sharks aren't nearly as bad, but I mean they're definitely still swimming around. But ended up landing this fish, and I had Ollie and all those guys helping me out, so landed him safely. After I landed that fish, I decided it was time to go a little bit deeper and punch towards the wreck just to see what was going on. Because sometimes if you start shooting a bunch of fish in the water column and there was nice fish out, like swimming around on the wreck, you'll kind of scare them away and they'll kind of bury up in the wreck and not give you a shot. So I decided to see what was going on. I spot a black grouper. He's sitting on top of the wreck. He's kind of in the middle of the camera and right now. And honestly, I could have taken a shot here. I decided not to, because when you're commercial spearfishing, if you start shooting like black grouper and red snapper, or basically anything that has quota, then you need to land the boat by a certain time, which is 6 p.m. And we didn't want to do that today. We wanted to be able to take as much time as we could and just shoot a bunch of fish. So ended up not taking the shot on that fish. As you can tell, Drake shot an AJ, but kept diving, and I spoke to Drake about that right after that dive. If that was a bigger black grouper, I definitely would have taken the shot. I mean, it just wasn't a giant, so I wasn't too worried about it. But spoke to Drake after, and he said, yeah, we're not shooting those today. So as you can tell, pass on them, and now I'm going back down to just see what was down there again. And a really nice school of AP swim through. It was the first ones we saw throughout the day, and I turned around to help Ollie with the one he just shot, and it's a little too late. Unfortunately, I just didn't get there quick enough, and that fish just got annihilated by those Goliath grouper. On these bigger wrecks, sometimes the predators are a pretty big issue and kind of make it to where you can't land fish.
Okay. That sucks.
I ripped it out of their mouths like multiple times.
I saw.
So Ollie lost that fish, and we kind of learned from our mistakes. So I see Matt coming up, and I see a school of African pompano, the same one, circling around him. And I was either going to take the shot or he was going to take the shot. And he stopped on his way up, so I decided I was going to help him with whatever he shot. He shoots, and immediately I grab that line, try and get that fish to stop and make it to where he's not going to get eaten. But as soon as I see a Goliath grouper swimming up to this thing and they're like getting pretty close, I know I have to let that fish swim away from them, because if I just hold the fish there, then they're gonna grab him. So let him swim, chase him down just to see where it's at. And I didn't cut the clip here. This is just how quickly this fish is getting chased up to the surface by Goliaths. Swim over here, and I see they're already trying to eat him at the surface again. So I do like 2 really heavy breaths and go down just to make sure they're aware that we are the ones harvesting this fish, and they're gonna stay away. So, and that fish and get back up to the surface.
There's so many blacks down there. I know. None of them are that big though. No. But there was like 6 I could have pulled the trigger on. Yeah. Oh yeah, there was a fat school. There is a Cubera down there that's pushing 25 pounds. I was actually about to pull the trigger and he spooked a little bit. I was gonna say, would he give you a shot? I'll take a shot on that. Yeah. It was actually like right on the edge. It was just a leaping shot. I was trying to get a good stone. Gotcha. Midway up on that far side, they were big. Gotcha.
I don't know if you heard what Matt said there at the end, but he said there's some mutton hanging out on the other side of the wreck. So I swim over here and decided I was going to go down to the bottom. Typically when I'm doing a drop like this, I kind of decide ahead of time whether I'm going to the bottom or whether I'm just kind of chilling in the water column. So I decided I'm throwing a flasher, hoping the mutton are going to swim up to it and just go down there and hopefully blast one. Get down here, don't see one on it, but I do see that black grouper. Kind of wish I could just shoot him. And get down here, settle up. He's giving me a super easy shot, but Drake told us not to. So I decided to pass on him and hopefully see something nice. There's a decent amount of mangrove snapper swimming around that I do like, and I was planning on shooting one of them until I spotted little baby mutton. He's not actually that small. He's actually pretty decent. He's just far away. Go to take the shot, but unfortunately I miss because I'm terrible, and the fish swims away unharmed. So kind of a fail there, but at least when Matt said there was a nice Cubera over there, I decided I was going to go for that one too. So as you see on this dive here, got up to the surface, reloaded my gun, and I'm headed down, not really expecting to see what I'm about to see, and do a little look down just to see what's in front of me here in a second, and I can just see this fish. It's right there. The viz is so awesome. It's not really that smart of a Cubera, and I decided as soon as I saw him, I was going to get a shot on this fish. And the way Cubera typically work is if you see him once, you're not going to see him again unless you take that shot. So decided I was going to take that shot, and it worked out perfectly. Take that shot, go down, grab that fish just to make sure no sharks or Goliath grouper or anything like that are going to come up and eat it. And I am hyped up about this. It's an awesome way to start the day. I think it's still like 8 o'clock in the morning, so super hyped.
Woo! Yeah, dude. End it. That was a good shot, too.
So I got that fish gutted and kept on diving. Super happy with how this day's going. I could have shot 0 more fish for the rest of the day and still had an awesome day. But go down here. Drake just shot another AJ, and I could tell this shark was coming up. This actually works surprisingly well, like a really low pitch hum. Kind of scares away sharks. Kind of figured I'd show you that, just in case you got a ton of sharks swimming around you. But kept diving that side of the wreck. Didn't really see much, so I decided to go to the other side. And there's still some nice mangoes swimming around. Those are always a good backup. But I look up, see that really nice African pompano at the top of the screen. If you didn't see him, you can go back 10 seconds and look at him again. But I decide I'm not going to chase him and not really follow him around. Spot a nice AJ, and that's kind of the moral of the story when you're commercial fishing is no matter what on a dive, if you waste it, you don't make any money. But if you shoot anything, then you do make money. So you never really want to waste a dive. You kind of just want to take a shot on pretty much every single dive you take. So that's what I do here. I knew I wasn't going to get shot on that AP, and an AJ is worth a good bit more than a mango, so I decided to take a shot on him. Also, he ate a yellowtail snapper. That was pretty cool. But this one here, kind of an interesting story. You'll hear it on the surface in just a second, but gotta give him a good old salute here and head on up to the surface.
Did they rip his fish off and you just shot it? My shaft might be down there somewhere.
I know where your shaft is. I can go grab it. What?
You know where it is?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
This is your AJ, by the way.
That's hilarious.
The Goliath grouper ripped Drake's shaft off, and I decided I was going to go grab it. I knew it fell on this side of the wreck, and as I came down here, I decided I was going to hopefully see something cool in there and take the shot on it and then grab Drake's shaft, but look in here, and I see nothing. So just go down here, grab Drake's shaft, and kind of head up onto the surface. That did give me an idea that there wasn't really that much hiding inside the wreck. I'm sure there's certain little pockets here and there that do have good fish. And in next week's video, you will see that there were some nice ones. Also, there was a black grouper on top of that wreck. If you go back, he was just sitting there. He's not that big, but it was pretty cool to see. So now I'm back to the other side of the wreck. I'm headed down, and in this dive here, kind of just looking around. I wasn't seeing much. Got to that middle of the day slump. I don't know if you guys have dove many wrecks, but on all the Florida wrecks that I've dove, every single day, once you get to about, I don't know, 1 p.m., it kind of gets real slow. All the fish start to hide away, especially the APs. You don't really see those much anymore. But just in general, the wrecks kind of die down in the middle of the day for about 3 or 4 hours till about 3 p.m. And then they kind of pick back up, giving you a better slot of spearfishing towards the end of the day. But that's why you want to take advantage of the morning and towards the end of the day. Unfortunately, that mango there, the bigger one, is being a pain. I could have got a really easy shot, but unfortunately he spooked away. But oh well, missed the shot and headed up to the surface.
The big mango.
So it's been probably about an hour or two, maybe. We just weren't seeing that much towards the middle of the day, so hopped in the boat, took a little break, drank a bunch of water, and once I came back to this side of the wreck, I planned on going to the bottom here and hopefully shooting a nice mutton snapper. But on my way down, spotted a pretty good AP, so I decided I was obviously going to take the shot on that. AP is by far one of the most expensive fish that you can harvest. So whenever you see one of them, you don't typically want to pass it unless you got something pretty cool there. So take the shot on him. Not really give him much line until I see that Goliath grouper, and then I knew I kind of had to give him some line. But I did know that Ollie and Matt were right there to help me out, so start pulling up on him pretty hard. But unfortunately, those Goliath grouper were on him so quick, and they definitely got their piece out of him.
I like shot him in the belly.
I don't know if he's even legal.
Unfortunately, the Goliaths got a pretty decent chunk out of him. They ripped him up pretty nicely, so I gutted him, brought him back to the boat, reloaded my gun, and looked down, saw a pretty nice mangrove. So decided I was going to follow him until I got a nice shot that I was happy to take. And the plans changed here in just about a second when he swims past a nice school of mangroves. And he wasn't really even the biggest one anyways. So wait until I see one that gives me a much better shot. He turns and I line up on him. Take the shot. It's honestly a really nice shot, but unfortunately my reel was a little bit too loose. And those Goliaths, once they got a piece of that AP, were very happy to take another piece of my mangrove. Don't really like to feed the wreck puppies there, but not much I could do about that one. So kept moving. I got my gun reloaded and kept moving. I did a few more dives towards the bottom just because Matt said he saw about a 30 to 40 pound Cubera this time, and I obviously wanted to take a shot on that over an AJ, but plans changed. Wasn't really seeing him. I did a few bottom drops and it just wasn't working out, so shot the AJ. Unfortunately my GoPro started to die here. That's why that clip was cut short, and also why I didn't get all the Goliath grouper action. So still landed the fish and he was pretty nice, but my GoPro died I think right here. So kept moving on, got a new battery in, and now I'm pointing at a bunch of black grouper. It's pretty sad just to see all these guys swimming around without taking a shot on them, because typically I dive a lot more north of where I am here, and definitely don't see nearly this many black grouper. So kind of sad to let them swim away like that, but we definitely came back and got our payback on those guys. So do a few more drops. Didn't see much at all. I think I took a rest in the boat in between this, and then took a shot on that AJ. Just laying on the deck, getting pretty tired, because if you sit in the water column and tread water all day, it kind of wears you out a lot. So take that shot, and I was pretty happy I didn't have to fight him. Landed that fish, kept moving, and hopped in the water once I changed my GoPro battery. Take a really long shot on this African pompano. I was kind of surprised that I was able to stick him. It's getting to that point where it's later in the day and these guys are starting to come back, so start seeing a little bit more of them. Now Ollie and I are buddy diving, so we were kind of ready for it. And also the Goliath grouper calmed down once we gave him a few hours of just chilling out without seeing many fish. So I was pretty happy to see that fish get landed. Unfortunately my charged GoPro battery that I put in there was not that charged, so I didn't get another clip of that fish. But at least I was getting the clips of just the shots on these fish. But take that shot, I can see my shaft went clean through him and that Goliath on him, so I just decided to horse him up as hard as I can. Luckily enough, I did break his spine, so he wasn't fighting that hard, and it did allow me to land this fish, because as soon as I looked down, Spot a bunch of sharks, and I think we swam with them for like another 5 minutes, but nothing too crazy happened, so I just left it out. But that was the end of the day.
Let's go, baby. When there was literally too much fish in the bow cooler.
Josh, what happened?
Yes, probably. You know more about what happened. I don't actually really know what happened. The moral of the story is we had way too much fish in the front of the boat, and as it was getting clamped down, it snapped the whole tongue. So we're repairing the tongue, and we're getting ready to go out in like probably 5 or 6 hours.
Rapid, unscheduled disassembly.
Nice. Catch you in the morning.
It's not OEM.
Tell me what happened. What popped off?
We got it dialed in.
We have an OEM Continental trailer.
Looks great. Nothing changed. We definitely aren't like 4 foot short on the tongue. Definitely not.
There's not a piece of the tongue inside of the truck either.
Yeah, that's definitely not happening. And we had to unload all the fish to make sure we didn't explode the trailer again.
And we don't have a significant amount of hardware left over.
But we're looking good. It is 12 on the dot. So we're gonna get like 3 hours of sleep, and we're gonna do it again.
I'm excited. You.
Yay!